What's going on, everybody? We're going to be talking about Monday Night Football for Week 15, 2017, as we wrap up this week of football. There are 2 more weeks left, and it's so many things that are going on that are critical to this. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, for all you Aaron Rodgers and Packer fans, you guys are now eliminated, you cheeseheads. It's very, very unfortunate, but yes, Aaron Rodgers was injured. He came back. They lost that game, and this victory from the Falcons eliminates them from playoff contention. So I just wanted to say that, man, and he was rusty. I spoke about him in my previous recap. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's available right here. It's also available now on Spotify. That's also been added with GmiasWorld. If you just search GmiasWorld, Spotify, iTunes, Android, inside their, iTunes and, Android has their own separate music category. I'm a podcast channel on there if you want to listen to it on the go. So it's an iHeartRadio. And also those links are in the description box if you just wanted to click on to other things. But I wanted to make sure you guys understand the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is the Packers, so him being out, I can't really, if people want to talk trash about the Packers, they can. Because you can't take away the number 1 person on the team and expect anything good to happen. We see what happened with the Texans with Deshaun Watson. So I'm just letting you guys understand that if people are talking trash about the Packers, it doesn't make sense. If Aaron Rodgers was there and they didn't make the playoffs, that's different. It's not like how Eli Manning played all those games with all those seasons and they didn't make the playoffs. That's different than when you're out and you don't make the playoffs. I just wanted to touch on that right there. All right, now Devonta Freeman, the dude had 2 fumbles. He was still able to get 194 rush yards. Watching this game, first of all, I didn't know a lot of the things that were being said about Jameis Winston as far as his pass yards before age 24 and stuff like that. You know what it is? He's kind of a weird quarterback because when you watch him play, you love his energy, but you also know that same energy is going to result in turnovers. And he hasn't been able to really minimize that and make good throws and better decisions. Now, granted, for the Buccaneers yesterday, they had no tight ends. Who was this guy, Cross? Yo, I've never seen him before in my life. I know he's a fullback, but I've never seen him before in my life. He dropped some really, really key passes in that game, but I don't know if I can actually blame him because that's not a fullback's job. A fullback's job is to block and sometimes, run for an inch or a yard or something like that, not to catch passes out of the backfield. So with that being said, I'm not sure how I feel about that, and I don't think it was fair to the Buccaneers offensively. And still, they only lost. They could have brought it to overtime with that last-second field goal that was missed. They've had very, very bad luck with kickers. Aren't they the team that drafted like a kicker in the 2nd round? Let's not even talk about that. So they're going through some issues, but Jameis Winston last night was decent enough to beat the Falcons. And, he just didn't have enough help. Mike Evans is a stud. But you can't do it by yourself. And see, that's why I always try to touch on a lot of different things in regards to when they're talking about dependent positions like wide receiver. Like when people put receivers in the situation for MVP, it just doesn't make any sense because they depend solely on the quarterback. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, people, Antonio Brown, probably before he got injured, and you bring up Julio Jones that had ridiculous seasons, Calvin Johnson that had ridiculous seasons. Very, very difficult because if you put all your energy into stopping them, you're going to alter what they do. Obviously, if they're great players, like I think Mike Evans is going to be a star in this league. If he's already a star, but I think he's going to be like that guy if he's just able to get some consistency and a little bit of help outside of where he is. Like if everybody is injured, you can't expect this man to do what he does. And he still was balling. He is one of the top receivers that get called for offensive pass interference, but I don't know what guys expect from the guy. You know what I'm saying? Jameis Winston is just throwing the ball up in the air most of the time. It may look like he's leading it towards him. The man is 6'5". He's going to go and get a lot of the stuff, even when they're bad throws. But if he had help on the other side and he could get a little bit, if you play him one-on-one, he's going to eat you all alive. And you might say, yeah, but that's for most receivers in the National Football League. That's not true. If you've watched Des Bryant, they've been single covering him all year. He's very, very rarely had a decent game. But again, Zeke Elliott wasn't there, and a lot of different things was going on, and Des Bryant is not that fast anyway. He's just a guy, back shoulder, throw it up, not really a lot of routes, and we see what happens. That's the kind of player he is. So I'm just trying to give you guys to distinguish this, like trying to distinguish between, a really, really clutch wide receiver and a guy that's washed up. And look, like I said, I'm just calling it how I see it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are a disappointment. I don't know what's going on with the coach and Jameis Winston. There's rumors that there's a lot of heat between them. He denied it several times in an interview. Look, when you're losing, things don't go right, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if a man loses his job and he goes home to the wife, she's like, yo, look, I hate you now. Like it's just real. Like it's not going to be the same thing. And as you get older, you understand why. People want to be able to do certain things And if they can't do it, it's just a natural thing to be upset. So when you're looking at them and their record right now, it's disgusting. Like, there's no denying it's disgusting. But yesterday was an example about how the team is. Yo, the guy is thrown to a guy named Cross, like this guy right here. He got one good, really lucky catch on the linebacker. And then when he threw it right into his arms on the third down, it just fell out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect miracles when the man doesn't have anybody that's supposed to be catching the ball. And I give Cross a lot of credit. He tried, he did what he had to do. And it just didn't work out. But I wanted to just make sure that you guys understand that I'm not going to outright bash any player unless that player has consistently shown a lack of effort. He's a bum just outright. You know, like, Jameis Winston is a result of what his offensive players are. And you got to be honest. Like, yeah, you still got Deshaun Jackson. You still got, you got, I forgot the other guy. I think O.J. Howard, was he hurt? I don't know what was going on. But you got some other players, but it's not the same. Plus, you're not really playing for anything. So that's also different. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at that yesterday, I kind of felt for the guy, man. So when you're making every attempt to try to be successful and you just don't have the pieces, it's very, very tough. Now we're going to flip it over to the Falcons. If they win straight out, they make the playoffs. If they lose to the Saints next week and then beat the Panthers or something like that, they still make it. But if they lose, next week, they give chances to the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and all other kind of stuff like that. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Cowboys are probably very, very bad because Des Bryant is one of their star receivers. And as I stated before, he sucks. But you don't want to see them in the playoffs with Zeke back. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to jump right into Matt Ryan in the offense of the Falcons. Of the Falcons. Now that we already spoke about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, Matt Ryan, for all you Dirty Bird guys out there, right? Matt Ryan, to me, is an average quarterback. I don't care what you guys say. You guys be coming at me. I'm never going to argue with you guys, bro. I'm just telling you. The guy looks like he's the hunchback of Notre Dame with his. Why is his shoulder pads and the back of his padding like that? He just looks so weird. It just really makes me angry, the whole situation. But that's not even the point about it. The point about it is I know that when it's time to make a play, Matt Ryan is probably not going to make that play. That's all I'm saying. Look, the dude, Julio Jones was smiling. Did you guys see that play where he threw it in the double coverage into the end zone? And Julio Jones, he was laughing with the guys that was defending him. He's laughing because he knows Matt Ryan sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. Matt Ryan, right, even with Sanu and the guys, like certain things that he does, if Matt Ryan is not in Tom Brady's category. I don't even think he's in Big Ben's category. All right? And I know I'm bringing up quarterbacks to the Super Bowl champions, but I'm just saying, even right now, with the dumb decisions that Big Ben makes, I would rather have him over Matt Ryan. And the reasoning behind it is just the decision-making. Matt Ryan still does things that quarterbacks that are in their first year in the National Football League does. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not a formidable guy he won't get you wins. I'm just saying that I don't think that he's where he should be right now. That's my opinion. If you love him, you love him. You're going to stay with him. He's not going to win you guys anything. You're not winning a championship with Matt Ryan. Doesn't matter. Your last chance to do that was last year. Well, the beginning of this year in January in the Super Bowl, and we saw what happened. The game was put into his hands. Remember that. They didn't run the ball. It was all passes. The game was put into his hands. In my opinion, it goes like this. The idiot offensive coordinator that's been sent over to be the coach of the 49ers now, the head coach, and then Matt Ryan. Because if you give if it's opposite, right, and Tom Brady's on the Falcons, Tom Brady wins that Super Bowl. If they tell him to pass the ball, even though, they should have been running it, Tom Brady wins that Super Bowl. A majority of other quarterbacks, if they had to throw the ball, Drew Brees, possibly even, like I said, Ben Roethlisberger. I'm telling you right now, even Cam Newton, if you just had to throw the ball in that Super Bowl up 28-3, and you do the same exact thing with other quarterbacks, I guarantee you, even though it's hypothetical, they would have won. Matt Ryan is just, he's like, I don't know really how to explain him. It's like he's good, but he's not good. He has arm strength, but he doesn't have arm strength. Whatever it is, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I would say I wish you guys the best, but I don't, for the Atlanta Falcon fans. You guys are not winning anything. You're not going anywhere. You might make the playoffs if you're able to pull out these wins in the next couple weeks, but I don't see anything really coming. And the honest, brutal truth is that you guys will probably never win a championship with Matt Ryan at quarterback. And that's just brutal honesty. If you guys win, text me, DM me. Let me know, bro. I'll apologize. But it's not going to happen. Matt Ryan will not win a Super Bowl while he's with the Falcons. I don't think he'll ever win a Super Bowl. It is what it is. Sorry for the bad news. Until next time, one love.